Today, we're going to talk about how this affects the economy. Most people think that when something is destroyed, it's bad for the owner, but it's actually good for the economy, because now we have to spend money to replace it, and that creates jobs. Economists call this the broken window fallacy. Suppose some punk throws a rock through your window. Now, you've got to spend hundreds of dollars to replace it. That creates jobs for the person installing the window. It creates jobs at the window factory. That almost makes you want to start blowing stuff up all over the place just so that we can create jobs fixing it all. So all of this is true, but it's incomplete. It assumes that you weren't going to spend that money anyway. In reality, say that you were about to buy a new phone, but then the rock comes through the window, and you spend all that money repairing the window, but you can't also afford to buy the new phone. This does mean more jobs for the window repairers and at the window factory, but it also means fewer jobs making and selling phones. By breaking that window, we didn't increase the number of jobs in the economy. We just sort of moved them around from one activity to another. If you think about it, the only case where breaking that window actually increases jobs is if I'm standing there about to light a couple $100 on fire, but then the rock comes through the window and I say, oh, I guess I won't burn my money. I'm gonna have to spend it repairing this window instead. You will see this fallacy on display every time there's a big disaster, like a fire or a flood or a tsunami or an earthquake or a tornado. You'll hear pundits on television saying, well, it's too bad for those people, but think of all the construction jobs we'll have rebuilding. They're always assuming that people weren't going to spend that money anyway. So I know what you're saying. You're saying, what about insurance? Say a tornado destroys my house, but then insurance comes along and pays to rebuild my house. So I've got new jobs rebuilding the house, but I still have all of my money left over that I can spend on what I want. Doesn't that increase jobs? Doesn't that increase economic activity? No. Because where did the insurance agency get that money? They got it from millions of people paying insurance premiums. If we lived in a world where houses never got destroyed, then people wouldn't have to pay insurance premiums. They'd have an extra $100 a month or so in their wallet that they could spend on other things. Insurance takes the cost of a disaster and spreads it out across time, spreads it out across people. But it doesn't make that cost go away. That cost is still there in the form of our insurance premiums, and it's still taking money away from things that we otherwise would have been buying. So the next time there's a big disaster and some talking head comes on television talking about how great it's going to be for the economy, take your television and throw it out the window, because they're wrong. And then realize that because now you have to pay to replace your television, you can't afford tickets to the concert. And who is Econguy? I'm Patrick Walsh. I'm an associate professor of economics at St. Michael's College near Burlington, Vermont.